frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck.
Hello, my name is Mimi T, and today we have ArchieLuxury, the luxury expert from the ArchieLuxury channel. Say hello.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Thank you.
Okay guys, so today I actually want to discuss with Archie the top tips on cleaning your Louis Vuitton handbag.
Okay, this is this is a question that's asked a lot, and I gotta tell you, it depends on the bag.
Right.
There's not one answer that fits all sizes. It depends on the bag.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is that, see, with Louis Vuitton, you have some Louis Vuitton items.
Yep.
Like we'll show you. This here is do you love this? It's an Alma.
Mm-hmm.
This is in their Damia, which is actually a canvas.
Yeah.
And it has leather trim. Now, the interesting thing is the leather trim here, the chocolate, really dark chocolatey color, it's actually a colored leather. So it's leather which is painted. It's a painted type leather, just like your shoes would be colored type leather.
I see. Okay. So would you say that would be the most difficult part to clean?
No, we'll come on to it in a minute there. But what I wanted to say is that the way you would clean the leather may be slightly different to this item here, which is a beautiful Tivoli. Don't you love it?
Tivoli.
I just adore the Tivoli. It's just so cute. And sometimes I do walk around with this.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
Yes. Men can carry this off. It's a beautiful bag.
Yeah.
This is slightly different because it is canvas again, but the leather is natural hide. So you want to be careful. It's like owning a pair of suede shoes. If you're not careful, you can stain them. So it's different techniques for different pieces. Okay. And also then there's the brassware itself. Like when I say brassware, we're talking about the metal work. Yep. Metal work. Mm-hmm. And there is actually a difference as well, because some of the Louis Vuitton pieces, the brass has been lacquered. So that's like the easiest way to say that is, it's like your beautiful fingernails you have there, Mimi T. Look at these beautiful fingernails you have there. And just like you have a nail polish there, they also put a layer of lacquer on, a clear lacquer.
Coating. With
the brassware on some of the Louis Vuitton, it has a clear lacquer.
Okay.
Now, that is different to, for example, did you see my bag? Well, I'm always losing my bag, darling. Oh, yes, just bring that up here. So this here, for example, this is my briefcase, by the way, and it has brass and it tarnishes, and so actually you can put that down, darling. It's bloody heavy. But what I was going to say is that when you have an item you want to clean that's Louis Vuitton, you've got to ascertain what you're doing, because the techniques for one would be very different for another. Like, I'll give you an example. On the brassware, the metalware itself, if it's lacquered, you don't want to be using abrasive polishes because you're going to damage the lacquer.
So no abrasive polishes?
Yes, I'll go into that in a minute. Whereas if it's not a lacquered product, you could actually clean it with some special brass polish. So you've got to clarify the situation. Now, generally speaking, the rule with Louis Vuitton is this, okay? And this is the same. You could use this rule for Coach, for Hermes. You could use it for any quality handbag you have there.
Okay.
Be careful. Number one, be careful.
Okay.
Take your time and don't rush. Too many people, they leave it to last minute. They've got their boyfriend coming around and they want to clean the bag and it's a big rush. Stop. Wait until you've got time.
Okay.
The most important thing is, if you're not sure how it will go, why don't you clean an inconspicuous part?
Okay.
Because you may not be happy. The next thing is, the official answer from the Louis Vuitton store is, you should never use sprays, bleaches, solvents. You should only ever, this is the official answer from the store, a damp cloth to clean the product. A damp cloth, and then you go over it with a dry, like a terry toweling type cloth.
Okay.
So I would say that's being a little bit too cautious. I would say you could also use a soapy cloth, like you could use a little bit. Now I'm not telling you, please don't blame me for these disasters. But if you had a like a hand soap, mix it with water, so you want to reduce the harshness of it. I wouldn't be spraying chemicals on anything. No chemicals, no bleaches, no nasty stuff like that there. Be very careful. But a little bit of soap in like a sponge.
And would you say use warm water rather than cold?
I would say warm is best. You don't want hot. No hot nasty water.
Okay.
And what you want to do is, say you got a bit of a stain, you want to do a little bit at a time. Don't coat the whole thing. You do a little bit at a time and then dry it. Now, I've got to tell you, this canvas is actually quite easy to do. But please, if you've got a leather handbag, like your Epi would be the full leather version, be very careful when you're putting water on, because I don't know if you know this, darling, but if you saturate it with water, it'll bend and bow. You know, like your shoes. If you go wear your good shoes through the rain, they'll actually, the leather sort of changes its, so you don't want to immerse it in water. When we're saying we're using water, we're using a little bit of water on a cloth or a sponge to just wipe over the surface. We're doing a little bit at a time, and then within seconds we're drying it with a cotton cloth.
A cotton cloth.
Like a tea towel would be ideal, a tea towel. Mind you, I used to use my wife's tea towel. She would go ballistic when I used tea towels. So, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to clean this bag. It didn't go over well. But a tea towel is an ideal thing. If you've got a beautiful $1,000 or $2,000 bag, just use the tea towel. Don't be stingy. So basically, what I'm saying there is, you want to take your time, be patient. Soapy water. No harsh chemicals. No harsh chemicals. Soapy water, and then dry it off, and do a little bit at a time. Don't immerse the whole thing and then come back, because that's asking for trouble. Okay.
And with the drying technique, do you prefer to dampen and just to tap it dry,
or
is it okay to rub it dry?
If you're using a terry towel cloth, like a tea towel, you can just rub it gently. But I wouldn't be rubbing it like an eraser. You wouldn't want to do that. You want to be fairly careful with it.
Beautiful.
You want to be careful. So now, hang on. That is only the top material. The leather is a different story. Okay. So when we've got painted leather, we would use a soapy cloth and then dry it again. When we've got natural type leather, that's a bit of a harder animal. Okay. I gotta confess, because what happens is, if you use a wet sponge or a cloth, it can leave watermarks. So you're best not to use the soap. Slightly damp, just give it a rub over to get some of the stuff off. I do know, now you've got to understand this, we're giving advice, you've got to be careful. Okay, I always say, try an inconspicuous area first. There's a thing called magic eraser. Have you heard of magic eraser?
I have heard of magic eraser.
Yes. There's those little foamy type squares. I've actually seen, now this is you would never use magic eraser on a painted type surface. You're asking for trouble. But where it's natural leather, just try it subtly, please, because I don't want you to be blamed for wrecking your bag, please. I don't want to be blamed. This is, as I say, always try an inconspicuous area. Some people have used magic eraser to get rid of some really grimy marks on the natural leather. Now, that leaves us to the last topic, which is the metalware itself. How do you clean the metalware? Now, the metalware itself there, if it is a lacquered type metal, like this here, okay, again, you don't want to immerse it in water, damp cloth. Could you use soapy? little bit soapy, not too. We're not dousing the thing in dishwashing liquid, please. Don't do that. I'm saying a little bit of soapy on the sponge, and then we get another cloth with a little bit of just normal water on it to get rid of that the soapiness there. Now, if we have, the final thing is if we have brass that is not lacquered. Now, normally you can tell this is lacquered because it doesn't tarnish, okay? If we have brass, excuse me, darling. If we have brassware that is not lacquered, we can actually clean that with the best product is a product called Brasso. Brasso. And it's basically, it is a very harsh chemical, and it is actually very, very, again, the advice is the way you do it. Now, I've seen them in the boutique do this. That's how I learned how to do it.
Yeah.
And Louis Vuitton used to offer a service when you had hard case luggage, because it is so expensive, darling. They would allow you for a lifetime to bring it back and they would polish it for you.
Okay.
They've sort of stopped that, which is a great shame, because I used to bring many of my cases in for polishing, and yeah, they don't do that anymore, I'm sorry. But if you are going to polish these here, I'm going to put a link to a cleaning video that I've made for my channel. And basically, you want to use a cotton bud and work on it very, very slowly.
Okay.
So the thing I want to stress is, take your time. Take your time. People get into a mess when they rush, they immerse it in chemicals and water, and then it's stuffed. Now just one, can I please give you one more tip?
One more
tip. Is
tip.
that okay? One
Absolutely.
more tip. How do you get rid of smells?
How do you get rid of smells?
Because we're talking about things you can see. Now let's talk about smell. What do you do with smell? You know, like, I'll give you an example.
Spray perfume?
Sometimes people buy things on eBay and they notice it's got grandma smell.
Oh
you
no.
know. The worst thing you can do for any Louis Vuitton, it's really sad. Mothballs, you know mothballs?
Yeah.
Naphthalene it's called. It's one of the most horrid smells, and I'm sorry darling, no amount of Chanel 5 will hide that. The only answer I have for smells is this.
Okay.
Clean the surface, damp cloth, to get any of this lingering smell off. You want to get rid of it as quick as you can.
And no perfume?
Ooh, that is the worst thing you can do. I mean, it's like when you're a teenager, and darling, I had a bit of a cigarette habit when I was, and your parents have come home, so you immediately spray the room with air freshener.
Oh, yes.
And it smells like a cheap bordello, you know. It doesn't hide nothing. All you've done is make it much, much worse.
Okay.
Believe you me.
So no perfume, ladies and
No
gentlemen.
air freshener or perfume, no matter how cool you think it is not a cool idea. The only way you'll get rid of a smell is to air the item.
Okay.
And believe you me, it will go. After, I would honestly tell you, within a month or two, the smells usually go. Don't spray air freshener because you're just making it worse.
Yep. You've
just got to wait your time. Now, the thing is this, if you are going to air it out, make sure it's not in the direct sun because you can fade the item. So be careful. Careful, and your items will look beautiful.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your detailed explanation. I hope that has helped all of you guys with your dirty handbag situation. I hope you guys have a good day. See you in the next video. Bye.
Friend of me, any me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Friend of me, any me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Friend of me, any me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Friend of me, any me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me.
I'm about to go Goku. Leave on my head is red like old news. Yeah, trying to get the green like it's Whole Foods. Couldn't take my style and now you so blue. Yeah, we don't need look for the exit. New sheriff in town, I get a little reckless. Missed the memo, go check the message. I ate then came back for